to speak, you're quick to change your mind. And I know it's me that followed you in blind. I could see that you didn't need what you wanted me. Maybe I was wrong, even once wasn't anything. So if we had another chance, I would never let you steal my heart. Bring me back to life. Don't dig deep like you would have a clue. All I see is how I was a fool. To save my heart, skip beats, thinking about you. Whoa. I could say that you didn't need what you wanted me. Maybe I was wrong, even once wasn't anything. Yeah, I could say that you didn't need any part of me. Yeah, maybe it's not me, you should be the one on your knees. So if we had another chance, I would never let you steal my heart. If we had another chance, I would never let you steal my glance. Bring me back to life. If we had another chance, I would never let you steal my glance. Bring me back to life.
Hey people, how is it going? Isn't this the one where the Blues lost it? I've mostly blocked this game from my memory, but we will see. The link's in the description. There's a bunch of preamble, so I'm just going to kick off now. Get your stuff ready, and yeah, if anyone comes in late, we can catch them up. Alrighty, so link in the description. I see Sam's here, Big Will's here, Nathan's here. Ultimate Cleveland Browns fan, Bully Ball, Hamish, Damandi. Yeah, Mr. Rugby fan. All right, let's go, man. Links in the description. We'll get underway. Like I said, there's like 5 minutes at least of pre-stuff, so let's just get underway. 5, 4, 3, 2-1. Blues Sunwolves. Super Rugby. This will be the last one of these for a while, I guess, until we do some proper live streams of actual games. How nice will that be? The Metal Death, yes. Last non-live live stream. There you go. Jordan, Sip Kiwi, I'm well. Ask me how well I am after this game. I remember this game being a bit ugly, to be honest. I remember it being a pretty poor performance from the Blues, but we'll see. I'm just starting at the beginning because I'm a little bit early. I think this is like a 2.5 hour one, so it must include either the halftime or the post-match stuff. So whatever it is, we can skip it, but we'll just start from the beginning. Blues lineup, Tuangafasi, Parsons, and Famuina. So it's a wee while ago. Last live stream before rugby is back. Got my ticket for Sunday's game. So it should be pretty good. They've apparently sold, was it 25 or 30,000 tickets already for Eden Park's game? And this is keeping in mind that they usually get like 10, 15,000. So it should be a pretty good crowd. Pretty good compared to normal anyway. So, yeah, we will see how that ends up going, but it should be good. Good Hugh, Ranger, Perofeta, Kaino's on the bench. Rene Ranger. All right. Do the Super Rugby games start this weekend? Yes. Yes, they do. Highlanders are hosting the Chiefs on Saturday, which is evening here in New Zealand, like 7 o'clock. And then Sunday one is Blues Hurricanes from Eden Park, and that one's afternoon here in New Zealand, 3:30. So that Sunday game is not going to work as well for those of you guys in South Africa, Europe. I think it'll be pretty early. Big whoa. Holy moly, bro. What you doing? Thanks for the live streams. Have a few beers at the game on me. Yeah. Let's crack on open now. This one, which is an export gold, in other words, the cheap man's beer, is certainly a lot cheaper than whatever you'll buy at Eden Park. But cheers, man. These streams have, I think, kept us all going as there's been no rugby, but we're not far away. Cheers, man. Oh, that's nice. Even though it's export gold, man, it's cold beer. Like I've said, I'm not a fussy man. I've already got some camera gear and stuff ready for Sunday's game. So I'll see if I can get some like match day footage and do like a bit of a vlog or something like that. Interestingly, because I haven't been using much of my mobile data because I've been at home, I've got like 3 gigs of data. I get like a gig a month, which is bugger all, but I've got Wi-Fi at home and Wi-Fi at work, so I don't usually use a lot. But that should be enough to do a short video at the game, eh? I upload something. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. Hi, Chris. Jason. So amped for some rugby. I know what you mean. Wish I was at the Blues game this weekend. How I'm just glad they have it live on KO. Interestingly, like I prepared the video I did yesterday, the one about dirty players. And then I saw the Tony Brown news and I was like, all right, I'll hold the dirty players video and do the Tony Brown one. And today, when everyone was telling me, look, KO doesn't have it, Fox Sports doesn't have it, I contacted KO. They were like, nah, we don't have it. I was right ready to rip into Foxtel in a video, but I was like, wait, hold off. Do the ripping on Friday in case something changes. So thankfully, something changed. Good news. The game is going to be on Foxtel. Predictions for the weekend. Chiefs. Well, they've got some injuries. Chiefs and Blues. What do you reckon? Alaran is here. Good man. The YouTube tracker is at 5 minutes. The game has not yet got underway. You should do a live stream of you watching the game at Eden Park. I might be able to do a little bit. I got a bit of data to do something. Trouble is the front-facing camera on my phone is stuffed. I dropped my camera, had it repaired. Dropped my phone not long after I bought it, had it fixed. But the front camera was never the same. It's like I'm in clouds. I'm in fog. But the rear-facing camera is okay, but I won't know what I'm looking at. So maybe I can point that at my face. I don't know. We'll see. You're just watching that Dirty Players video. That was a bit of fun to do. Kickoff has just happened at Sunwolves Blues. At this point in 2017, neither of these teams had a chance of making the playoffs. It was both, from memory, it was both their final game of the season. So it was a chance for the Blues, who had a pretty crap season, to go out on a high against a poor Sunwolves team. We'll see how that goes. Messy start. Do you think there'll be test rugby? Maybe. I'm an optimist, man, so I'll say 60% yeah. KO 100% has it on their schedule. Yes, but as of yesterday, they didn't. I literally got an email from KO. I got one yesterday and one today. Yesterday, I inquired about it. And yesterday, where are those bastards? Excuse my language. Oh, no, I sent it from my other email address. KO Sports. Thanks for reaching out. At this stage, we do not plan to have Super Rugby Aotearoa on KO. However, please note, broadcast fixtures are subject to change. And then today, in great news, we can now confirm KO will stream every Super Rugby game, AU and Aotearoa, live and on demand. What a difference a day makes. 1 minute, 45 seconds gone. The Blues have got the ball in the Sunwolves half. It's a beautiful looking day in Japan. The video quality is 720p, so it's still HD. It's pretty good. We'll see how the Blues go. Hoping for November tests to happen. Says Daramundi. Yeah, I think anything later in the year has got more of a chance than anything else, which I guess just makes sense, doesn't it? Crusaders games before lockdown, you were saying crowds were slack. It's because of COVID. Then you said COVID, that bigger deal. What's your thoughts on COVID now? I mean, I went to the last Blues game when COVID was still threatening, and we still got a decent crowd from memory. I don't think it was that far reduced. And, yeah, it seems starving people of the product is going to make a bit of a bumper crowd this week, but I don't know how long that'll last. We'll see. Might have to go early because you got school tomorrow. Not a problem, man. School comes first. This game will be available, as will this stream, at a later time. Still 0-0 after about 3.5 minutes. Morning Fleshin, how is it going, mate? Like I said, match clock's at about 3.5 minutes. If you're watching the Blues and their final game of a disappointing 2017 season, take on the Sunwolves. I mentioned before, the reason I picked this game is because the Blues are playing this weekend, which is good news. The Sunwolves are pretty much gone from existence, which is the bad news for a Sunwolves fan. For Super Rugby, it might end up being a good thing. YouTube clock, I've got it at 9:40 at the moment. The match clock's at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. I reckon the crowds will be big for the first 2-3 rounds, and then it will tail off. Yep. I think it's like anything. There'll be bumper crowds, and then they will slowly peel off. I'm not sure if anyone knows better than me. They can let me know. But apparently in Japan, after the World Cup, the top league had huge crowds, but even they were kind of slowly diminishing, week by week. So once Super Rugby Australia starts off, probably get to see the Rebels play in Melbourne. That'd be good. That'd be good, man. Hopefully they'll be allowing crowds there as well, as long as it's safe. Come on, Blues. 5 meter line out. Surely we're going to score here. Here we go. Not quite. Oh, and the Sunnies have got a penalty. Good D. Ehai West never quite cut it. He was quick, but yeah, everything else in his game was a bit lacking. I agree. Go the Blues for Sunday. Yeah, man. Go the Blues. There's no Geordie, but we should have Bodie. So in the Barrett Stakes, the Blues will have the advantage. He says that with a Sunwolves t-shirt on. Yeah, I know, man. I'll wear the Blues one on Sunday. What can I say? Interestingly, this Sunwolves team had a fair few Japanese national team players in it compared to the one that played the last the World Cup season and whatnot. Jamie Joseph didn't really let the guys play for the Sunwolves, and only 2 or 3 players played for the Sunwolves in the season that was called off. Oh, Collins. Oh, not the best pass. Sub to 2 cents rugby. Yes, we get it. Sub to me. Yep. I generally don't ask people to do that in my videos. Generally, I don't ask people to do it. Does that work on you? If a channel says subscribe, share, like, do you actually do it? Or does it just kind of blend into the noise? Blues have got most of the ball at the minute. Matthew, how's it going? Is that forward? Seem to have let it go. Come on, Blues. Don't make us lose face. Do you know if Carter's playing this week? They haven't called the lineups yet. The initial talk in the press conferences when he first joined up was that probably not in the first couple of weeks, but they're never going to put all their cards on the table, so we will have to wait and see. Try time. James Parsons. Looking good for the Blues, people. Looking very good. Hurricanes are going down, unfortunately. Might be right. Ref missed a huge forward pass. That did seem pretty forward in the build-up, but I guess it's too far back for them to check. I used to cringe when YouTubers asked to subscribe. When I found it actually helps the channel to provide more videos. Kind of made sense. Yeah, I mean, so many channels ask for it at the end. I feel like if you say it every time, it kind of blends into nothingness. But one guy legit in the comments told me, bro, can you remind me to like the videos because I always forget and you always just finish your videos abruptly. And I was like, oh, maybe I should do that. Do you have any predictions? Who takes on the rugby championship there with the New Look teams, assuming it goes ahead? Oh, man. If it goes ahead, I would probably say the All Blacks are favourites, but that's not really saying much, is it? Ihaya West kicked the conversion, by the way. So it's 7-0 to the men from the north of the North Island. And they've spelt Umanga's name wrong. Interesting. Yeah, because I think Rassi will probably pick more domestically based Springboks, and with COVID, that may be essential if there's travel restrictions. I mean, who knows? If he picks his full World Cup squad, then you got to make the Boks the favourite. But I think he'll experiment a bit more, whereas Ian Foster will probably be a bit more stable. Like the All Blacks did a lot of their blooding of the up-and-coming guys before the World Cup, the guys who didn't quite make the squad. That was probably the best thing James Parsons has ever done. You got to admit, of all the teams starting hookers, I don't think any of the New Zealand Super Rugby teams are swapping whoever they've got for James Parsons, right? You're not swapping Dan Coles, Cody Taylor, Nathan Harris, any of those guys. You're probably not swapping for James Parsons, eh? As much as he's a loyal Blues man and does a fair bit on the media and whatnot, but yeah. South Africa leaving Sansa. It keeps getting talked about. It keeps being rumors, but nothing official as yet. I think that'll be a long-term thing if anything happens there. Sunwolves look to have turned the ball over, and they have. But the Blues have got it back. It's all going Blues. It's looking like a fine day for these guys. Look at them go. Helter-skelter play. West back inside. Oh, Kiriwani's playing 6. Oh, look at him go. Offload, Gibson. 4 meters out. Luatua. Oh, the offload. Oh. That was a bit of luck at the end. Kali Tuioti with the try. Hey, Darnell. YouTube clock is at 17 minutes, 55 seconds if you're joining in. James is a good guy, though. Ultimately, yes. Very good guy. James Parsons, but just probably not the best guy in his position for all the Super Rugby teams in New Zealand. Daniel says, what do you think is the most important position on the rugby field? Some people would say 10, because he's your decision maker. Maybe you would say tight head prop if you want your scrum to go well. I mean, maybe 10. If you're picking your team to build around it, might be 10. They're usually the highest paid guys. West isn't too bad for a ginger. He's quick, like I said. He is very quick. And what a kick. He's having a storming one. 14-0 to the Blues. They're going to walk this one in. Just got off work, says Darnell. Good man. Finished work ages ago for myself. Good on the Sunwolves winning. They might get there. They're 14-0 down, so it's not looking very likely at the minute. You think flank is the most important position? I mean, generally, yeah, someone mentioned it in the comments just then. You talk about the spine, all you guys who run down the kind of middle of the team as your key guys, you kind of build your team around the spine. From memory, it's generally loosehead prop that gets paid the least. So maybe that's telling about how important that position is. I mean, whenever I pick dream teams, to be fair, there's always tons of loosies to choose from, but really good locks, really good props tend to be a bit fewer and further between. I don't know how, but I'd managed to end up wrong in Blues and Sunwolves match. This is live. We don't know who wins. Well, bro, it's clearly the Blues that are going to win this one. They're scoring at almost a point a minute. It's 14-0 after 15 minutes. Game clock has just hit 15 minutes, 10 seconds on my end, FYI. Did I say 14 minutes? 15 minutes. I played 10 last year, but for some reason I've been moved to second 5. Are you a big lad? Or maybe you're not the best goal kicker. I mean, you tend to see in high school teams, the guy who takes the kicks, the position tends to vary a lot more than at this level. This level, it's almost always the 9 or 10, especially if you're in France, it's 9, but usually 10. Whereas in high school, it's often the fullback, the winger, just whoever's the best kicker. Sunnies have taken it quickly. They're only about a meter out. This is their first time in the Blues 22, surely. They probably could have scored if they'd gone into that gap quickly, but it was too slow. Try time. Rasta's getting in there, and he's given it. Important try for the Sunwolves, right under the sticks. I'm going to do homework for school. I've got a PE test coming up. What homework do you have for PE? I don't remember getting homework in PE. Blues getting all the spotlight that no one seems to talk about Artie coming back. Is he fit? Bro, even I didn't know that. That's a massive news. He had a 60% kicking rate last year. That's not bad. Some professional guys would struggle to get 60%. Ooh, did he keep possession of that ball? That looked to be bobbling a bit loose on the way down, but they're not going to overturn that, surely. $14 points to 7. You probably evolved your game into a crash ball type player, which is why you're at 12. If you like taking the ball to the line instead of distributing, that may be why they've moved you to 12. It was a very hesitant charge to the try line, says Chris. It was a bit of a weird try, but yeah, you feel like the Blues probably could have done a bit better there on D. That may become a theme. We'll see how this goes. I feel like I might have lost money on this game, to be honest. I've got really negative feelings about it, but it's good. It could just be that the Blues lost. I don't remember clearly. If I know myself, I probably picked the Blues to win with like a points margin involved, like Blues to win by more than 7 or something like that. Yeah, that sounds like me. Had to go to early school tomorrow. No worries, man. School is important. Go to school. Get lots of sleep. Recharge your brain. If you could go to one stadium you haven't already been to watch a game, what would it be? I'm kind of torn between going somewhere like the Millennium in Wales to watch like either a Six Nations match. I can imagine England against Wales at the Millennium. I think that'd be massive. Or potentially one of the big ones in South Africa, like maybe Alice Park. That's a ground with a lot of history. Loftus, or maybe Newlands before it's kind of gone. But yeah, those would be the ones on my mind. You're not that big and you don't know why your coach has moved you from first five to second five. Ask him. Or is he a bit of a hard man that you can't talk to? Whoa, here goes Lafayette. Big tackle from Malani Nane. Sunwolves have got all the momentum at the moment. The Blues are slowing that down. Ooh, I think he was probably off his feet when he made that turnover, but I will take it. Have to sleep. All good, man. Have a good rest. Is Pietau still playing in England? He is. He's playing in Bristol. Millennium, where you boys are in town, is not bad. Yeah, I reckon that'll be a cracking one, man. I bet your tickets are pretty bloody hard to get. Jack Goodhue's mullet is here. Nice. Maybe they don't want a distributing 12. Yeah, exactly. Maybe they're doing the kind of Curtly Beale style guy at 12, right? He's not that big, but he's a good distributor. Owen Farrell. Maybe he thinks you're a bit of an Owen Farrell. Oh, man. The Blues look kind of all at sea at the moment, fellas, although the Sunwolves' hands have let them down. Game clock is at 21:40. Always rated Lafayette. Yeah, man, he's a good player. He's kind of that good balance of like he can distribute, he can take the ball to the line, he's got a bit of gas, he got decent like kicking from hand game. So yeah, good player. Looks like you want to go take a dump. I'm just sitting on a chair for a change. It's weird. I just keep bending. I don't know. I'm not used to sitting on a chair for the live streams. I'm usually on the floor. Plus, this chair's probably a bit small for me. Like, it's a regular sized chair, but I'm just a large human. Owen Farrell should have been much more prominent in that video. The guy just has got bad tackle technique, I think, more than that being that dirty. He just can't tackle. He's just got a rugby league background. He just likes putting his shoulder in. Think the Blues are suffering from the heat. That's actually a good point. Yeah, this game was Japanese summer because it's the end of the season, right? Season starts, Japan's at the end of their winter. Southern Hemisphere countries are all at the end of their summer. So, yeah, by the time you get to the end of the season, it's reversed. And yeah, I think it was pretty stinking hot. It makes sense as well because the Blues were caning it for the start, and then they have really started to look lethargic. He's at least an unhonorable mention. Yeah. He was in the video a couple times, right? Getting smacked in the head. Oh, Viljoen. He had a bit of a mixed bag of a time with the Sunwolves. Where are we at the game? The game clock is at 23 minutes. The YouTube clock is at 30 minutes, helpfully. They're both at quite even numbers. Akira actually looks fit here. He does look leaner, doesn't he? Yeah, he definitely does. Even Sam Burgess didn't put his shoulder in when he played Union like that. Did you see his thing on House of Rugby? That was actually quite a candid interview. If you haven't seen it, he was interviewed by James Haskell and what's the other guy's name? The journalist on Joe's House of Rugby in England. It's a good yarn. Talks about World Cup 2015 and whatnot. Talks a bit of smack about the Ford family, which is always interesting. Fukuoka. No space. Man, it's all Sunwolves, eh? It's absolute role reversal since the start of the game. The Blues haven't had any ball for an age. Be interesting to see the Blues play at number 8 on Saturday. I think Satutu's got to be your man, eh? Based on form this season. Unless Akira has worked wonders at training. What are some of the biggest upsets you remember from Super Rugby? Some Wolves had a year where they upset a couple of South African teams, right? Like they beat the Stormers in like Hong Kong. That one was a big upset. That year the Brumbies made, was it the Brumbies? No, the Sharks. The year the Sharks made the final where they played in Hamilton. Didn't they have to win like an away quarterfinal and away semifinal and then just couldn't do it for the final? That was one where I think they were supposed to go down. Definitely up there. Got me curious. What's the interview with Sam Burgess on YouTube? Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on House of Rugby. I think it's called Joe's House of Rugby. And they've interviewed a few guys recently. They've done Jamie George. They've done Sam Burgess. Who else did they do? Jack Noel, but I haven't seen his one yet. Matt Giddo, his one's quite funny. But yeah, the Sam Burgess one, he talks just a bit about, moving to Australia, playing league, injuries, the 2015 World Cup, like I said, and a bit about his relationship with George Ford and his dad, about how he didn't, really get on with them that well. Oh, here we go. Michael Collins. Go, man. Easy. Against the run of play, try. Man. 19-7 Blues. I was kind of disappointed when I found out the teams next year will only face each other once next year with the new round-robin system. People have been calling for the round-robin system, at least here in New Zealand, for ages. They want to go back to the way it was, try to make things a bit more, I guess, kind of even. So you at least see everybody. There's no advantage. You don't get to not play a certain team. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. I know the Aussie teams have said they're going to make less money because you don't get guaranteed 7 home games, only 6 some years. And you won't get the same gate sales for the foreign teams. But anyway. No worries, Arch Vermin. Like I said, it's a pretty good watch because Sam Burgess is a bit of a straight shooter. He doesn't talk too much fluff, which is cool. Did you know Sam Burgess ran over Sonny Bill? I'm sure Sam Burgess ran over a few guys. Here in South Africa, one of Sport 24's bloggers wanted to go back to Super 10. There's been a bunch of proposals for what changes could be made to fix Super Rugby, man. So 21-0, by the way. 27 minutes, 35 seconds gone. Sunwolves have just kicked off. Yeah, I don't know how the ultimate fix is going to work. But we'll see how these domestic comps go first, and I guess we'll go from there. Sam Burgess was a great league player. Yeah, I was kind of surprised he switched to Union, to be honest. And if you go and watch his interview on House of Rugby, he even talks about how he virtually played no rugby. Oh, man, Fukuoka. Oh, Matt Duffy's got him. About how he played no rugby in the first Union game he played. He got pretty badly exposed because he just, hadn't grown up with the game. Wow, what a try. Oh, he's knocked it on. Are you kidding me? That's brutal. Oh, he did everything but score it. Oh, Nanai. Man, we missed that guy. And this wasn't even his best season for the Blues. Nanai try saver. When Burgess had his cheek smashed in the final and he carried on. He talks about that in the interview. He talks about that. I'm doing a good promo job for House of Rugby here. Not affiliated with House of Rugby, but he talks about that moment. Oh, well, what a try, says Big Wall, until he knocked it on. Indeed. That's a brutal one. That's a highlight reel one. Olaran says, I have a feeling Super Rugby is over. The short season and traveling time has sapped it. If there's one thing that the lockdown has shown me is that there is a massive desire for domestic rugby in New Zealand and South Africa. And I think a general consensus that the Aussies would be maybe a bit better off playing Aussie teams as well, because again, then you'd get that kind of NRL style tribal rivalry. You know what I mean? Like something you can talk about at work. If your workmate's a kind of Tars fan and you're a Reds fan. So, but the problem has always been the markets aren't that big enough. So yeah, we'll see. I think ideally, if you could get some kind of champions competition, right, amongst the teams, that would be ideal. But I don't know, man. It's going to take someone smarter than me to work it out. It's simply the lack of dollars in New Zealand. Absolutely. It's a problem with being a small little country. We don't have enough people to pay the high salaries anyway. That's why we have derby weekends in the Pro 14, says Fleshin. Yeah, I mean, Super Rugby, I think, tried to do that with the conference system a bit, and that you played most of the teams from the other countries. That didn't look straight. Anyway, but you played the teams in your own conference twice, and they were brutal, and they got better crowds. Dave Stewart says, should Super Rugby be scrapped for some sort of global competition? Teams from all countries, 12 to 16 teams, competition having 4 to 5 tiers, promotion relegation every year. That sounds like a lot of logistics. I think the French and English leagues are pretty happy with the way it is. The Pro 14 seems to be a bit of a mixed bag with some really successful teams. and some who kind of struggle. How much money do you think a sold-out Eden Park can make for this weekend? Hopefully a fair chunk of change to make up some of the money they've lost in terms of not being able to play the games, eh? They said optimistically they'd love to see 40,000. So we'll see. We will see. I'll take some footage. You guys can see what it's like. I just got to make sure they don't, I don't know, not let me in for taking too much gear. Is South Africa joining the Six Nations? That one comes up, but nothing as yet. I can't see the Six Nations changing their model anytime shortly. .32.5 minutes gone. Blues lead 21-7. Sunwolves were unlucky not to score one. And the Blues were pretty lucky to get one of their intercepts. So the scoreboard maybe flatters the Blues a wee bit. Both sides have had a good run. Do they still have the 91 FM cheerleaders at Blues games? Bro, how long has it been since you left New Zealand? After the 91 FM cheerleaders, they became the Sky City cheerleaders. But no, they don't do Sky City cheerleaders anymore. I think cheerleading is done. I think I don't think it's socially acceptable here in New Zealand anymore to have cheerleaders. Last time I saw 40,000 at a Super Rugby game was 2017 final. It should be fun if that's the case. Yeah, bro. I mean, I haven't seen a full Eden Park for a Blues game. Like, basically, at a Blues game, because they get 10,000 in like a stadium that seats almost 50, you can basically buy the cheapest ticket, which is general admission, which sits at either end, like behind the sticks. And then you can pretty much just walk around to any other seat and just sit wherever nobody else is. If anyone else comes to you and says, bro, you're in my seat, you just move. There will be dozens of other seats you can take in almost whatever section you want. A few will have some kind of like staff member to check your ticket. But that's more for like the corporate areas, which have food and drink. So if it's just a seat, you can pretty much always get there. So I learned that the hard way. I paid for a season ticket, like a gold membership, which is not the top one. The top one was platinum, but I paid for gold, and I realized it was a big waste of money because I could have just been paying for a general admission every week and just sitting wherever I wanted. Anyway, rant over. Still have cheerleaders in South Africa. I noticed the South African camera crews are very good at finding attractive women in the crowd as well. They're really good at that, and they zoom right in, and then like in the breaks, they do that a lot, I've found. I don't think they do that here. Capacity of Eden Park, asks Liam. I think it's about 50 or 48 most times, and they can expand it to 60 with some extra seating if they need to. At Super Rugby games, they don't usually use the top level of, what is it, like the east stand, like behind one of the posts. They usually block that area off. So I think it's like 48 for most Super Rugby games. That's an interesting hack. Well, yeah, man. If it's like a quarter full, who really cares where you sit, right? I don't know if that'll be the case this weekend. I've got general admission again, but I feel like I may not be able to just steal a seat. I live in Japan, and all the seats are always packed at Chichibu. Yeah, the Imbiber said the same thing, that you got to get there really early to get the spot that you want. That's one good thing about the Sunwolves is they always had really good crowd support. That's why it's best to watch the South African game, says Chris. I'm surprised more people don't go to the games with the amount the camera guys do that, to be honest. It's almost 36 minutes. The game's getting a bit messy. There's a few knock-ons and whatnot, but we're not far from halftime. Game clock. Yeah, 30. I'll read it in a minute. Been to a few Kings games in the stadium. Is so empty you can walk into the box seats. No one really cares. That's next level empty. Game clock 36:15. Yeah. The Kings, didn't they get good crowds for a couple of years in Super Rugby? The big V8 show. Good day. You're late, but that's all right. The Blues are leading. Maybe we should turn off now. It's 21 points to 7. 36 and a half minutes gone. Any chance, asks Sabello, for the Hurricanes to beat the Blues on Sunday? Absolutely. If there is a team who can be strong favorites, I don't know if they're strong favorites, can be favorites and lose it in New Zealand, it is the Blues. I remember when we played the Chiefs, when their injury list was so long, they were down to like fourth choice props. They had loose forwards playing in the second row. They still came to Eden Park and beat us. You know, things are changing when the Blues are favorites for a game against Cairns. I actually haven't looked at the odds yet, but I would imagine the Blues are favorites. I got training at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Should I sleep? 7 a.m. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You still got time, man. You still got time. Depends how long it's going to take you to get to training. Blues need a good exit play here before halftime. They give it to Ihaya West. And decent exit. Sunnies go quickly. Can they put on some points before halftime? They've already scored 7. Especially since Geordie has gotten himself injured, says Liam. Indeed, no Geordie Barrett. So the Blues will have all the Barretts, and that will have one. Oh, and the Sunwolves have scored just before halftime through their halfback, whose name I can't remember. It's not Nagare, is it? He's the other one. There are no finals in Super Rugby Aotearoa. This is true, Alaran. It's just going to be top of the log wins it. Great try. Matsushima, half break, passes from the ground. Tokunaga was the guy running the support line. Very good stuff. Will you also be streaming all of the Super Rugby games, Mark? I will, in all likelihood, do a stream for the Highlanders Chiefs game this week, but I'll be going to the Blues game, so I won't be streaming that one. But I will endeavor to do some kind of vlog at the game, and then I'll see if I've got capacity to do something very briefly during the game, maybe on Twitter or Facebook or something. Probably not on YouTube. We'll see. What's your favorite game to rewatch? Asks Dave. My favorite is the 2015 Rugby World Cup final. Halftime, Blues 21, Sunwolves 14. We're going to skip all the halftime shenanigans. And I'm going to start at 1 hour on the YouTube clock. 1 hour and 2 minutes. It looks like Filo Tiatia is talking, and they're about to kick off. All right, so I'm switching there now. 1 hour and 2 minutes. Players are about to get back on the field. Are you still doing the G-Man thing? Yes, but it'll be, I think, at least an hour later. So that will be after the Highlanders-Chiefs game. Probably a good hour after that game. Second half, I have just got underway. I skipped through to an hour and 2 minutes. Ireland 2013. That's another good one if you're a New Zealand fan to watch back. They actually showed that one on Irish TV the other day. And they promoted it on Twitter, and Irish fans were like, what the hell? Why would you want us to see this game again? Do you have an Instagram page? I have created the account 2 Cents Rugby, I think, but I have not used it as yet. I have enough trouble thinking of stuff to come up with for YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. The Facebook page does not get much love, unfortunately. But I'm not a fan of just posting the same crap on every page. Do you know what I mean? Like I've seen some people's Twitter account whose every tweet is literally just check out my YouTube video, check out my YouTube video, check out my YouTube video. And it's kind of like, bro, that's why I subscribe to your YouTube channel. Don't need to remind me on Twitter as well. Anyway, that's just personal preference. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. True enough. How many likes does this stream actually have? I can't see from my end. I can see 37 people are here, but I can't see how many likes we've got. If it's less than 37, some people haven't liked it. Right, I'm at the game clock is just coming up to 42 minutes, guys. I skipped all the halftime stuff. The Blues have just given away a penalty in their own half. And unsurprisingly, the Sunnies have gone quickly through Matsushima. You're speaking huge facts there, mate. Yeah, I don't know. If you're talking about the Twitter thing, it's just one that kind of doesn't do it for me. $42 likes. Oh, hoorah. We've got more likes than we've got people. That's fantastic. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Supposedly it does good stuff for the YouTube algorithm, so we've got to keep the algorithm happy. Post pics of different whiteboards you use on Instagram. I've used 3 whiteboards on the YouTube channel, believe it or not. The original whiteboard, the OG. Then I did some YouTubing from China for a few months. That was early on. That was before 1,000 subscribers. So most of you guys probably wouldn't have seen those videos when I was doing YouTube from my in-laws' place. And then I bought one which has actually got a stand, which is the current one, during the World Cup or before the World Cup. So, yep, been on quite the whiteboard journey, man. I've still got the original one. It's sitting there with all my kids drawing on it. They use it more than I do, neither. Oh, Pulu has put it into touch. 44 minutes gone. I have to leave now, says Liam. Got online classes. All right, man. Take care. Whiteboard porn, says Big Will. I do love a good whiteboard. What can I say? I struggle to find whiteboard markers which are both clear to write and not like $5-6 each. This is the dilemma I have. I got no problem with the whiteboard. It's the bloody markers which were a pain in the backside. South Africa v New Zealand 2011 with Nono bumping off John Smith in his 100th game. Man, I haven't seen that one for a long time. Maybe I should go back and watch that one. James Parsons is looking pretty hot as he prepares to throw this ball on. 45 minutes. Blues are inside their own 22. Under a little bit of pressure here. Oh, and they've stuffed up the line out. Are you kidding me? Sunwolves in 2017, from memory, had the worst line out by a long shot. Blues are trying to get a turnover. They might have done it. And they've won a penalty. Desperation defense from the Blues here. Are you related to 50 Cent? I know there's a resemblance for sure. How did you get the name 2 Cents Rugby? I don't know, man. I was thinking about names for ages. Well, I don't know how long ages was. The guy who's got a whiteboard, whose channel I used to watch, is a guy named The Hockey Guy, right? He's got an ice hockey channel, NHL. That's all he does. He's got a whiteboard. He's got magnets. He talks about hockey. And I was like, bro, that's awesome. I'm going to do that for rugby. So I kind of ripped him off, but I support him on Patreon. So he's getting his cut. He's good with it. I sent him a message. He's good. He's cool with it. But I was thinking about naming myself the Rugby Guy, but I was like, nah, man, that's like too much of a ripoff. You need to have your own name. And I was thinking about it for ages, and then one day I just thought about 2 Cents Rugby. Because I was like, I don't want to make myself out to be some like know-it-all like analyst or like expert or something, like, because I'm not, man. I'm just a guy who likes watching rugby and buys too much rugby gear. So yeah, I figured the name worked. Interestingly, Squidge Rugby mentioned on G-Man's live stream why he chose the name Squidge Rugby. Did you guys see that? You've probably got more money than 50 Cent now. Why? What happened to 50 Cent? Isn't he like a bazillionaire? You should get Warehouse Stationery to sponsor you with whiteboards and markers. Bro, how do you know I use Warehouse Stationery markers? There it is. Whiteboard marker. Can't see the I'm too big. I'm gonna be the focus. Impact whiteboard marker from Warehouse Stationery. These are good, but they're really hit and miss. Some of them are really good, and some of them are just shit. It's like they don't have good quality control. I guess that's why, because they're really cheap. Warm beers rugby. Man, we've come a long way since the days of the warm beer. Now we have the cooler bag. And the cooler bag has, ice pack in it. So cold beers rugby. 2 Cents Rugby is good, very Kiwi, and most people would like to have their 2 cents worth when it comes to talking about rugby. Bro, yeah, most correct. If the season didn't come to a halt, do you think Leinster would go invisible? Do you mean would they have won the whole thing without losing a game? Possibly, man. In the Pro 14, they were running riot. The Squidge G-Man interview was great. It was. They got really into it. especially Squidge. He kind of like took control at the end and was just reading the chat. He was just like answering all these questions in like really typical Squidge machine gun kind of fashion. Because he says he doesn't usually do live streams, so it was kind of a bit different for him as well. Ramsings are a perpetually disappointed Blues fan rugby. That's it's got a ring to it. Sometimes I feel like I'm at my best when I'm ranting about the Blues, to be honest. Because I generally try to talk stuff down the middle, like I don't go real extreme. But when the Blues really disappoint, yeah. Right, 50 minutes. The Blues are attacking. Duffy got taken out. West put a kick through. But Matsushima's dealt with it. Oh, and he's escaped the clutches of Nanai. G-Man was too polite, so Squidge took over. Yeah, you could tell G-Man was just having a blast as well. Two Van der Cents rugby. What's the currency in South Africa? If you've got 1 rand, is that like 100 cents, or what's below a rand? Is it cents or is it something else? Who's leading the game so far? It is currently the Blues. 21-14. Though it's still tight. Do I know who wins? Unfortunately, I do remember pretty clearly. Well, actually, not clearly. I remember the result clearly. I don't actually know the final score. I just know the result, like in terms of who wins and who loses, very clearly. That part is burned into my brain. Yes, 100 cents equals 1 rand. Okay, cool. So it's not like some other unit of currency. If Squidge Rugby is the lovable nerd down the local pub who never shuts up, 2 Cents Rugby is the friendly guy making sure he doesn't throw up, get beaten up. There you go. I haven't thrown up down at the pub since my bachelor's party. That's been a while now. It's been years. "52 minutes. Blues have got to score here, surely. They've been camped down at this end of the field. Pressure's got to pay. 2-on-1. All they had to do was beat Fukuoka. Couldn't get it done. Funny how 2 cents is worth more than Sky News analysis on Rugby Australia's financial situation. That's a bit depressing. Liam, I thought you... anyway, who do you think will start at 9 for the Wallabies now? Personally, I like Ryan Lawrence, and I'm pretty sure he's eligible for the play for the Wallabies. He doesn't box kick, though, does he? You reckon Rennie will pick a guy who doesn't box kick? Could do. The guy's built, man, for a 9. He's huge. I mean, he's pretty much the opposite of Joe Powell, right? Joe Powell's like a pretty slender, looks like he's going to get snapped in half kind of little 9, who probably shouldn't be taking the ball to the line ever. And you've got Lawrence, who looks like he could bench press probably more weight than anybody else on the team. Oh, are you kidding me? Have the Blues seriously not forced that ball? That's probably going to be a try for the Sunnies. South Africa changed from a pound to a rand in 61. Similar times in New Zealand, we changed from pounds and shillings to dollars. What was that, Duffy? Indeed. The hell was that? Oh, Nick White. Yeah, true. True. And that guy can kick the leather off the ball, man. No, I'm still here. The other Liam left. That's what I was thinking. I was like, hey, Liam, aren't you? I was like, oh, wait a minute. Different Liam. I caught myself, but you caught me. Oh, man. Knox lost it. That's going to be try time. Yeah. Why did I choose to watch this game again? Am I mentally preparing myself for disappointment? In case we lose to the Hurricanes this weekend, I can be like, at least it wasn't as bad as this game where we lost to the bloody Sunwolves. Maybe that's what it is. Try time, Sunwolves. Matt Duffy has been a little disappointing since jumping from league. 100% agree. He's not quite made it. Didn't he get an All Blacks cap, though? Anyway. Schoolboy era, indeed. Tim's in. How's it going, Tim? Aren't you working? Oh, that kick has not made it. That's actually a very well thought out plan that only a Blues player can think up. I think that works, eh? Yeah. Get my suffering out of the way now. Or at least kind of prep myself. Just stop for a cup of tea. Good man. Hope things are going well over in the UK. I see there's plans to cut the salary cap for the English teams to maybe lessen some of the financial burden on them, which is probably a good news thing. Duffy's positioning is so off, and yeah, he's had one cap for the ABs. Yeah, and he's not. They sometimes play him at fullback, but he doesn't really have the kicking game to play at fullback, to be honest. Unless you're just going with the game plan of you should probably just always run it back. But sometimes he runs it back and gets himself into trouble. Where in rugby league, it's fine. He gets caught, sure, it's tackle, and then move on to tackle number 2. But in rugby union, you get isolated, get turned over, and it's big trouble. In my opinion, TJ has surpassed Smith. Different players, man? Different players. You got the guy with one of the crispest passes, although that guy Nohamba may have the new crispest pass from what I've seen. That guy fires bullets. Versus like TJ, who's like, I think second top try scorer in Super Rugby. Like, yeah, very dangerous. DC won't start, says Alaran. I agree, because Trent's asking DC 10, Barrett 15. If DC is playing this weekend, I pretty much would put the house on it being from the bench. Could be mistaken, but there you go. Reckon Duffy's, says Aotearoa, had a pretty staldy-worthy career, decent run at Melbourne Storm, single test cap with one of the highest honours in New Zealand sports. He can definitely go into one of those conversations about the best players to play 2 codes, because he's made it at the top level in both. But yeah. Oh, here's trouble for Kaino. Sub Duffy, please. Right, Foley's kicking. Wow, man. Whenever I think of Foley's kicking, I just remember that he kicked that final one to win the 2014 Super Rugby final. So he got the one that mattered. Big Will says, Bodie will be at 10 this week. I don't see DC playing this week. I'm inclined to agree with that one. I'm not sure he'll start or ride the pine. I reckon he gets a rest, but you never know. You never know. Pitofeta is out, so who starts at 15? They may play Duffy there, which is the worrying thing. Otherwise, they could potentially put one of the 10s at 15. So you've got choices because you got Black, Bowden, and Plummer. But they like putting Plummer at 12, so yeah, it's one to watch. Right, Blues are down to 14 men. They are 2 points up though. Tamura is not gonna go for 3. It's kickable, but tough. He's not got a huge boot, but yeah, we'll see. Aotearoa must be in the conversation. Yeah, agreed. I don't remember the last time he has he played fullback? Did he play fullback before lockdown finished? Like Plummer's the guy I remember shuffling to 12, and I always think he's a bit small for a 12. Was DC thinking can't be match fit, then realized who is? True. DC does look in pretty good shape, to be honest. Like, if there's one guy who hasn't chucked on some kegs in lockdown, it's Dan Carter. Man, the Sunwolves Mall is tearing up the Blues. This is horrendous. It's a penalty try to the Sunwolves. They don't need to kick that one, and they have gone into the lead. 24 points. No, they've not put the extra 2 on. 26 points. Man, that's an embarrassing one, that one. I know they're down Kino, but still, that wasn't good. I'm glad Samoa's finally going to get some playtime for the Wallabies. He's been the best, in my opinion, for the last year or so. He gets a bit of stick for his defense sometimes, But, yeah, I think he's got to play. When do they announce the teams for Super Rugby this weekend? Are you going to do videos for both games? Yeah, I think if the teams are out, they're usually out the day before. So if the teams are out on Friday, you should get preview for Super Rugby Highlanders Chiefs on Friday, then preview Blues Canes, live stream with G-Man. So there's going to be tons, man. Do I do power rankings? Probably no power rankings, right? Power rankings with 5 teams doesn't make a lot of sense, but we can still do dream teams. There's heaps of stuff that's going to be going on, man. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. The Potosphere says, Kino is looking at the Fords like, bro, WTF. Agree. Oh, they've subbed Tamura. Blues have won a penalty, and it has just hit 60 minutes on my game clock. It's 26-21 to the Sunwolves. Rene Ranger must be boiling with all that hair. Good to see Auntie Jacinda as a Chiefs fan. Come on, man. I think she had a house up here in Auckland. But being a politician, she could also be a Canes fan, but she's gone Chiefs, gone with her roots. Makes sense. Or Blues, you can push back. Yeah, they've been a bit soft, but maybe they are just getting tired with the heat, hey? It does look pretty bloody hot. At least we won our own line out this time. Here we go. Parsons. Rene Ranger. Oh, he's just offloaded the ball into the head. Oh, but I guess no knock on from the head. I wonder what he hides in that hair. If you believe, was it Brad Weber or somebody else who said he man, look at Fukuoka. He has just run down Duffy and taken the ball. Duffy is having an absolute stinker. The Blues look pretty shattered, to be honest. They're all on their hands and knees. Somebody said, one of the guys said that he has, you guys going to have to tell me, you guys who speak New Zealand English, they said Rene Ranger likes to have a dart before the game. And where I was at school, a dart meant a cigarette, but some people said, no, it means a joint. So is a dart a joint or is it just a smoke? Random question. Has life in New Zealand returned to normal upon lowering to level 1, or are people still cautious about wearing masks, working from home? The place I work at has still said if you want to work from home, you can work from home. So I've been working home this week. Next week, I'm going to go back to the office because working at home sucks because I'm sitting on the floor. I don't have a desk. It's easy to do videos. I can do them during my shift pretty easily. But, yeah, for the most part, man, things feel pretty much back to normal. Yeah, although it's kind of hard for me to say because, like I said, I've been at home, but traffic still feels crap. So that's kind of back to normal. Jasmine says it's pretty much back to normal. Yeah. Dart is a ciggy, says Elaran. Yeah, same as where I was, but I saw people saying he's smoking a joint. Ciggy to sip kiwi as well. Okay. In Oz, it also means a ciggy. Okay, good. Okay, so he's a smoker. That's fine. But some people will say, no, it's a joint. I was like, no? Anyway. What do you do for work? Ugh. I work at the local university. It's an office job, basically. Big scrum from the Sunwolves. Oh, my God. Oh, they've blown it, though. They've chucked it into touch. Forward anyway. Oh, the Blues were getting demolished there. We're lucky. Yeah, there's basically an IT support team at the uni I work at who answer phone calls from staff because our uni is pretty big. We've got a couple thousand staff members. So if their computers break or if their printers don't print, they call the help desk. So my guys work on the help desk. So I run a very small team of IT help desk guys. Yep. So happy days. I go to a lot of meetings where they talk about stuff and I dream about rugby. as it sucks my will to live. Jasmine says, I finally get the house to myself during the day. Nah, I'd rather be back at the office, to be honest. Like, I got a big chair at least. And a proper work desk instead of working on like the kitchen table. Oh, try time after 5 phases. Second try during this yellow card. Blues are looking shocking. Flick off the base was beautiful. Talk about stuff. Bro, that's what the meetings are, man. They drive me up the wall. Going to meetings and doing reports. Here come the Sunwolves. Nice little dummy from the halfback, and boom, he is over. Melanie and I bought that hook, line, and sinker, but my husband was using our dining room table. Had to pull one out of our fold-out table and use it as a dining room table. Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. Like, I can work in here where it's a bit more comfortable in terms of the chair. He's missed the conversion. But yeah, I get a sore back because you need to work on a decently high table. So I work at the dining table with like a couple of books under my computer. It's crap. Anyway, I can't complain, man. I've got a job and our country is doing all right. So yeah. It's 31-21 after 65 and a half minutes. The Sunwolves are 10 points ahead. The Blues are looking all at sea. You're talking about a tinny. Yeah, tinny also means weed to me as well. I don't know if that's a New Zealand thing. Blues need to do something here. Do you reckon the Hawaras are done as well as the Sunwolves? It's not looking good for them, is it? Whoa. The Hawaras guys have basically all been told, if you can find other work, go get it. We'll release you from your contracts. So they've lost their coach, and a bunch of their players have been linked with other teams. So it seems not the best for them at the moment. It's definitely done for them this year. They're going to have nobody to play. But that'd be so disappointing if they were cut. I know the travel factor does suck, but they were actually, one of the better teams in the last couple of years. Because says, my dad would call a tinny or weed chuff. Choof? I don't know that one. My parents would probably say marijuana. Yeah. My parents are pretty goody two-shoes, to be honest. They're not watching the stream, definitely. Are they still part of Sansa? They are. Sanzar is like South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, Argentina rugby. Oh, what's happened here? Are you kidding? No way. That didn't just happen. No. Like I said, I don't remember what the final score is, but this can't be that bad, is it? Come on. Blues just flipping dropped the ball. Last pass. Man, that's atrocious. Oh, that's atrocious. Was this Tana's last game in charge of the Blues, or did he get one more season? 2018. Did he get one more? Because then he coached, Leon McDonald coached 2019 and started 2020. What drink are you having? I'm looking for some match drinks while sitting on the couch watching Super Rugby Aotearoa. I'm drinking Export Gold, which is pretty much a cheap beer here in New Zealand. There's several cheap brands of beer. It's not the cheapest. I don't think this is the worst, but it's not a drink that you would proudly display. I don't think. The final score is ugly. That part I remember. Petafeta's on. Collins is trying to run it through the Sunwolves line, and he gets nowhere. And Fayane has just knocked the ball on. From 2004 onwards, there's not much to celebrate as a Blues fan. However, I'll rip my mighty Blues for life. Yep. That's you and me, man. I can't just switch teams. If I moved somewhere else in New Zealand, I would definitely take that team as my second team. But yeah, the Blues still have to be my team. Quasi asks, 2 cents, how many games have been played in New Zealand this weekend? 2 games, brother. One on Saturday, one on Sunday. And then the Crusaders have got a rest because it's 5 teams, so it's always going to be 2 games every weekend with one team having a rest. When are you dropping the video for the Super Rugby previews? Once the teams are named, then I'll have a look through. So I think we're probably looking at Friday for the Saturday game. Unless they name the team on Thursday, then I'll do it on Thursday. But yeah, probably Friday. What's the game time? I'm at 72 now on the game clock. Blues have got a line out about and they've just flipping lost it. I was going to say about 10 meters out from the line. When you have a chat with G-Man, you should tell him to curb his South Africanisms. I could see a confused look on Squidge's face a few times. I've chatted to G-Man only once, like in conversation. We had a chat the other day offline, and he did, I think, did he say lekker? Lekker. I think he might have said that. That one I know. He said some name of some drink, I think, during the stream, and I didn't know what it was. Ooh. Sunwolves have got the ball. This is not looking good, people. Yeah. Lekker equals nice, tasty. That one I know. There's 2 there's 2 Afrikaans words I've learned since this channel has been on. And lekker is one of them. Line break from the Sunwolves. Are you kidding me? The defense has just been so bad from the Blues. It's been just comically bad. Jeez, are they going to score another one? He was talking about brandy and Coke. Ah, okay. Yeah, I couldn't understand that one either. I could probably understand a little bit of Afrikaans as it is close to Dutch, but could not speak it. You speak Dutch? Why have the Blues been so bad with Auckland being the biggest city? I'm guessing the richest city in New Zealand. Interesting. Previously, the Super Rugby teams in New Zealand had what was called like a catchment area where you kind of had first dibs on any players from that area. This is a long time ago. So the Blues used to be pretty stacked with players, and only players that couldn't make our whatever number squad, like couldn't make the top 30 or whatever players we picked in our catchment area, the guys who were from our area but couldn't make the Blues would go outside of Auckland. But they scrapped that ages ago. So essentially, you can sign for anywhere you like. Like Kieran Reid's from the very south of Auckland or the very north of the Waikato, and he doesn't play for the Chiefs or the Blues. He spent his whole career at the Crusaders. So, yeah. There's not as much connection to where you come from as to who you play for. Like Goodhue for the Crusaders, he's from Northland, so he should be playing for the Blues, but he plays for the Crusaders as well. Man, the Blues are under all kinds of pressure. Why would you want to play for them? 75 minutes. They're in their own goal area, for goodness sake. Will you be watching Super Rugby in Australia? Absolutely, man. Are you kidding me? Is that another one? Are you kidding me? The ones that I struggle with are the ones if they play them Perth, because it's like a 5-hour time difference, but it's still doable. I reckon a similar reason why Australia's smallest territory in Super Rugby is their most dominant team, and the biggest is the worst. What's happened here? Blues, box kick, charge down, Luffa Elliott, just a doddle. Man, Knox not had his best game either, has he? Far out. Stormers fans like their players to be from their region. Traditionally, that's how it used to be here, man. But that hasn't been that way for a while. All Blacks used to play for their club side, by which I mean like below Mitre 10 level. There's club rugby, you know, Ponsonby, Marist, all that kind of stuff. But that hasn't happened for years either. Oh, Alex, man. Too kind. Love your work, mate. Considering we don't really have a decent fullback, what are your thoughts on Barrett to fullback and keeping Black at 10? I think there's a logic to that for sure. There's definitely a logic to playing Barrett, who is probably the Blues' best fullback at 15. But he's probably also the Blues' best 10. So I think they will choose to play him at 10. How they throw somebody into fullback, it could be Duffy. I don't like the idea of it being Duffy because, yeah, I've mentioned earlier in the stream, I don't think he's got the all-round game to play fullback in Union anyway. I'm not sure if Black's played fullback. I honestly don't know. He's not really the quickest guy. But yeah. Barrett would be the optimum guy if we had two of them. We could play him at 10 and 15. But yeah. We will see what happens with the team naming. It will be a big talking point. Absolutely. But cheers for that, bro. I appreciate the support. Man. I honestly didn't remember the Sunwolves score in 40. I've mentally blocked that part. I knew they beat us, but far out. It's 43-21 after almost 78 minutes. The score is now very, very ugly. Indeed. This is real bad. You can play Bodie at 11, 14, 15, and he will carve up. But he's a genuine 10 in my eyes. I think they have to play him at 10. I don't think he joined the Blues to play fullback. How do we go from 21-7 to this dog's breakfast? Good question. Blame the heat. One of the Sunwolves guys looks like he's in a fair bit of pain, but those medical guys got on the field pretty quickly to their credit. You reckon the Blues could put Black and Barrett at 10, 15 and Plummer at 12? If they want to play as many playmakers as they can squeeze into the side, it's possible. And then fit Dan Carter in there somewhere as well. See if you can get a backline, which is pretty much just all first fives. Yeah. Or maybe because put Barrett at 13. There you go. I know he's played second five, but chuck him out one. That way you got a 10 at 10, a 10 at 12, a 10 at 13, and a 10 at 15. Do it. Was it a big shock losing at this game, let alone the scoreline? It was. The Blues were favourites to win the game, and certainly by a decent score. The Blues weren't a good team this year. They didn't make the playoffs. They didn't look like it, but they certainly weren't expected to ship 43 points to the Sunnies. They went out to a big lead early and looked good value, but then they've just lagged for the rest of the game. I think he joined the Blues because of his wife, not to play 10. Yeah, he did indeed join the Blues because of his missus. That's true. I get the feeling that's why Dan is in Auckland as well. Oh, man, it just got worse. I legit did not remember the score got this bad. 48-21. Far out. Canes fan here, but it's good that the Blues region has something to be excited about. And the debate, just wish we tried to pinch Aotearoa after Bodie. You gotta feel sorry for Aotearoa, Black man. He leaves the Canes. Oh, look at that. How the heck did they not tackle him? The Blues defense has been terrible. You got to feel for Aotearoa Black, who left the Canes to probably get away from Bodie's shadow, and then Bodie joins him a bit later. Great try. You guys are right, but I'm feeling the pain. Sunwolves coaching staff are laughing. What a way to end their season this is. How many Japanese internationals are in this team? Lots, actually. The majority. Like in later years, like in World Cup year, they filled the team with pretty much all kind of mercenary players. But this team is largely made up of Japanese internationals. Thankfully, it's full-time, and they missed the conversion, so they didn't get 50. 48-21. What an absolute disgrace from the Blues. Oh, my Lord. That was terrible. But as I mentioned earlier, whatever the result is at the weekend, it ain't going to be that bad. So, yeah. Cheers, guys, for keeping me company during the lockdown times when there's been no rugby. Thank goodness rugby is back this weekend. As I said before, we've got Highlanders against the Chiefs on Saturday, which is at a decent time for you guys in South Africa and Europe. And then there'll be a live stream for that game, I think. And then after that game, a live stream with G-Man. And then the Sunday is Blues up against the Canes from here in Auckland. I'll be going to that game. So, yeah, I'll be trying to do some kind of vlog and stuff, but the video may not come out on that day. I'll probably have to chop it up. But, yeah, should be good fun to have rugby back. The previews will be interesting to see how they line up. There's already been a few guys pull out injured, but, yeah, not too far away. We managed to get through the absence of rugby amongst all the things in the world to be considered. It probably wasn't the biggest priority, but yeah, we still missed the game. So cheers, guys, and go the Blues this weekend. Still a couple of days to go, but yeah, hope to see you guys on Saturday for that live stream, and then later for the one with me and G-Man. So we'll probably talk about the game a bit, and then just about rugby stuff in general. So it should be a real good bit of fun. All right, guys, take care, and see you for the next one. See you.